Gamers, this video is for Titans and Hunters. We're screwed. Warlocks are busted. Starfire Protocol now heals itself, and you can get your well in about 30 seconds, and unlimited font, and unlimited armor charges, and unlimited fire sprite. Just watch the video, you'll see what I mean. Gamers, may I present to you the new and improved Starfire Protocol Warlock. Now I know you're praying for this ornament to drop in the store. One of these times Bungie's gonna just drop it and we're gonna get the ornament we want and make us look cool, but other than that, this is the best drip I got. What people don't realize is with the new update, the Starfire Protocol Warlock has been buffed. The one missing key item that this build had was you couldn't cure yourself. You were always putting yourself in an empowering rift, spamming wither horde, spamming anarchy, whatever you want to use to keep generating your nades, and you could not heal yourself. Well, now with Ember of Resolve, you are literally a healing, nade throwing, super refreshing machine, and it's busted. Me personally, I'm a stasis warlock kind of fan, or a void, but how can you take this build off when it's so busted? And it's really good for endgame, and it's probably gonna melt the raid. Any GM you get in, it's insane. So let's just go over the quick build real quick. I just want to show this off before you get into the content of showing you what the build actually consists of. So I'm gonna go over here and save it and right click and pretty much show you every single subclass, every single mod I have on all my armor, nice and clean with the new UI update. I'm actually gonna go over the whole build right now, so let's get into it. So first we're gonna start with Dawnblade. The abilities, we're gonna be on an empowering rift. That way, when you're standing in your rift and you're doing damage over time with any tick damage like anarchy, your submachine gun, a wither horde, a rocket, whatever, you're gonna get your abilities back. I use Gsxrclyde because anything else is pretty weird. Celestial Fire or the Snap is good. It is implemented in this build that you get your melee back so you can cause eruption. You want to cause scorch and ignitions. So throwing 2 nades at a single target or group of ads, or throwing a nade with a melee is going to cause an ignition. Obviously we're on fusion grenades with Touch of Flame and Icarus Dash, but you can use heat rises, but I wouldn't recommend it. Here's where people are gonna change up different fragments and use different things. I repeat, you can switch these up, but this is all about getting your ignitions and spreading scorch. So I went with Char, Resolve to heal, Searing to defeat scorch targets, and it grants melee energy, plus it's creating the fire sprite. This is huge in this build. And Ashes, you apply more scorch stacks to targets. I did some research. If you put on Ember of Empyrean, when you pick up a fire sprite to proc restoration and then you get kills with your solar abilities and solar weapons, you could have about 12 seconds of restoration going. But if you pick up another fire sprite, it resets it to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Like, you lose your stack. So I took it off. We really don't need any more healing. You don't need to be a god because this is a DPS loadout as well. I know I got 115 discipline, but that's because I got the Gsxrclyde Artifice armor on, and this is what we just take what we get. Going over the helmet mods, how do I have 3 ashes on and how are they all single energy? Well, you go into your artifact and you click the solar mods and go for the nade one as well. So since I have Artifice armor on, I could get a free resilience juicer, recovery, and 3 ashes. This is how you get your super in 30 seconds. It's absolutely busted. Now we're gonna get into the situational stuff. Firepower is consisted of when you throw your grenade, it creates a orb of power. If you have multiple copies of this mod on, it's supposed to give you more super energy. I ran 2, didn't tell the difference. You get your super so fast anyway, so I'm just going with 1. The reason why is I want momentum transfer on, because every time I cause damage, this is not a kill. When you cause damage with your grenade, you get your melee back. What happens when you throw a nade in a melee? You cause eruption. That's what we want. Chest piece consists of double charged up. So this build is kind of overkill. You get 1.5 minutes of font, which we'll get to next, but I left this slot open. So let's just say you're doing a raid or a nightfall that you need arc resist, or you need solar resist, or you need void resist, you can put it on. But remember, you might not need recovery on your chest piece like I do, so you might be able to free up the mods. So this is up to you if you want to put more resist mods on as well. I need recovery because I needed to get my stat to 100, because your rift is tied to recovery. Plus, it's nice to be able to regain your health because these grenades don't 100% cure you all the time. And you're probably like, well, Clyde, you really don't need recuv on this build because every time you get a kill with a nade, you get your rift back anyway because of Starfire. That is also true, but hey, we get the new triple 100 juicer stats anyway. Boots. Here we come to this solar weapon surge and stasis weapon surge. This is where you get your font. So if I want to juice my rocket launcher, I simply take off solar weapon and I put on stasis. So this is going to give me a 22% damage increase for my rockets, since it's stasis and demolitionist for your rocket. Again, I think you could use a demo rocket in your heavy slot or put on anarchy or Wendigo, whatever you want, or even typhoon with demolitionist. It's totally up to you. If you're wondering why I had solar on, it's because I was using Callus mini tool a lot, and maybe I wanted a little juice on my weapon, because mainly this build is consist of getting tick damage and getting your nades back. So I was risking it for the biscuit and I took some damage away, but it's totally up to you. But again, remember, having 3 of these mods on and having your charged up on, you're consistently over damaging everything. 22% or 17% of non-stop damage, because you always have armor charges. Going into the bond, elemental time dilation to extend that time, and I did double outreach to get my melee back. So I'm stacking outreach with momentum transfer. And again, this build is mainly just to get you past doing more damage, always consistently having font. I'm going to always call this font. Last thing before we end, font is now weapon surge, and people threw a lot the past year. Ever since Witch Queen came out, no one was paying attention to this. With this build, or with any build you're using in the future now, understand that when you get a kill with your grenade, you're going to make an orb of power. Then with the fragment that you have on, you're going to make a fire sprite. Picking up a fire sprite automatically gives you 2 armor charges, and an orb of power gives you 1. So automatically off the first grenade kill, you start with 3 armor charges. So as you see, when I'm running around the lost sector, I always have armor charges up. This could open up for you to switch out mods and change this build up. But honestly, if you're running endgame and you're running raids, you're gonna get your super in 30 seconds. You're always charged over damage, and you're throwing nades and having fun. I haven't made a video on this build ever because I knew it was going to get better, and this is why I was waiting for this update. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, just like you did the Bonk Titan. If you haven't gone and watched it, go check out the new Bonk Titan video as well. We'll throw that in at the end. Peace.